It was a crisp morning, perfect day for a walk. The crack of the fence alerted me. To my surprise, a car is rolling into the church pond with a teenage girl inside. There's no time to think. Instinct kicks in. I run to reach the now submerged car. The water is thick, dark. I can't see what part of the car I am next to. I feel for the door. By the grace of God, it opens. I push my hand into the unknown and feel for her fingers. I grab a hold and pull her out. We stood next to each other on the bank. Two strangers who had just witnessed a miracle. We do not speak. A moment of heroism was ironically humbling. I felt small, drenched, covered in moss, with the stench of stagnant water on me. My mind resting on the fact that I had just lost my cell phone and would have to throw away these shoes. I look at her. Does she realize what happened? Do I? It was bigger than both of us. I asked her age. 15, she replied. It hit me. My son Jacob would be 15 today. I was stirred to the core. What could this mean? My mind goes back in time to a place that is painful to remember. The day I awoke in the ER, a bright light overhead and surrounded by strangers. The words spoken, too much to comprehend. It was a miracle that I had lived. But there was no rejoicing. In the next breath, too often to speak of, my son, Jacob, did not survive. They held me down, pulled glass from my flesh. It sounds cruel, but it was compassionate. Nothing hurt more than the truth. Going home without him was hard. I was numb at first. Then it became unbearable. I was afraid of my own thoughts, yet too afraid not to have them. Everything was too much. The weight of grief was suffocating. Getting out of the house felt brave. Grief is very isolating. You feel like no one can understand. Seeing a familiar face was a challenge. Often, they would dart down another path to avoid you. I didn't blame them. I would go too if I could. Having their pity felt worse. I am a survivor, or at least I want to say that I am. Grief is not a disease. However, the guilt associated with it will attempt to destroy you. Guilt came so natural. It showed up like a friend, there to offer answers. A friend that would turn on you. There are worse things than death. I was so desperate for a glimpse of hope, and it came through Jesus Christ. The great paradox of my life, grief, my greatest enemy, became my greatest teacher. That day on the bank, after rescuing a teenager, the truth set before me like a gift. It set me free. I was not responsible for saving her life. I was used as a tool to accomplish her miracle. In the same way, I was not responsible for the tragic loss of my son. I was instead a part of the experience that brought him home. From there, I devoted my life to helping others. It's been 22 years since I held my boy. I walked the bittersweet path of hopeless to healing. I want to help others do the same. Today, I accept my brokenness as beautiful. What was meant for harm, God meant for good. My husband and I are raising 3 wonderful kids. I work as a chaplain and a grief counselor. And this year, on the anniversary of Jacob's death, I launched Tara Powell Ministries. The ministry offers healing to the hurting. God redeems. I believe that Jacob fulfilled his mission and gave me mine.